Hey guys, so the Arnold Classic 2023 is over. I was there in person at the Arnold Classic and I did have a very good seat. Okay, so this was the pre-judging on the Friday night. So they initially put Big Ramy in the middle. They put Samson right in the middle, Ramy on the end, Andrew Jack to Samson's left and Nick Walker to his right with Sean Clarido on the end. Now this was a good indication of the top three. I thought initially Andrew Jack had the best condition. He had massive improvements from the Olympia only 3 months before. Big Ramy, when I first looked at him, he did look very good, very much improved also from the Olympia. However, Samson did display that edge with the most size. However, his shape, aesthetics, fullness brought him to the #1 spot. Nick Walker, I think Nick did look very good, not as good as his Olympia outing. However, pictures before he did try to bring his waist down quite a bit and he didn't have that pop he did at the Olympia. I was at the Olympia, so I did see, I can compare both. Sean Clarido looked very good. There was talks about him winning the show, but big man was always going to beat the small man. Nothing to take away from Sean. He did look very good, but in this lineup, as you can see from Sean, Nick, Samson, it goes up and up, and Sean's got lost in the size. Pound for pound, he probably is the best bodybuilder on stage. However, he was too small. Let's go for this pose. So first pose, front double bicep. I think in this pose, Andrew Jack's got the best front double biceps. You can see how lean his abs are, how good his arms are. However, getting to that condition, you can tell he sacrificed a bit of size, so he hasn't got the fullness in his chest and back. Big Ramy looks very good. His legs, they do overpower his physique. So I did speak to Big Ramy the day after, and I did say you need to sort of downsize your legs to match the upper body. Nick Walker, he has a great front double bicep, massive arms. You can see his abs condition. Legs are very separated and conditioned. However, he does lose that sweep in his legs. So his legs look very straight, but you can see all the veins in his legs. So he was in very good condition. Sean Clarido, great front double biceps. In this pose, he doesn't look as sharp as everyone else. However, I do know he was in condition, so this is not a great pose for him. So in this pose, I would give this pose to Andrew Jack. The front lat spread, this is a tough one because none of them really hit it properly. I would probably have to give this pose to Samson. He's got the X-frame there. He's got the lats. Nick Walker looks a bit funny in this pose. He looks a bit awkward. He's a bit too hunched forward. Sean doesn't look bad. Andrew, he doesn't hit this pose as I'd like to see him. He keeps his chest too high. He needs to stand forward a little bit. Big Ramy, he looks good in this pose. He looks very wide. His legs look absolutely huge. Maybe he should also sort of stand a bit straighter. I would give this pose to Samson. Okay, side chest. Probably Nick Walker. I would give Nick Walker this pose. This is a great pose for Big Ramy. As you can see, the separation in his quads, hamstrings, and glutes. That is a very good pose for Ramy. He's also got the thickness in his shoulders and chest. Andrew, you can tell Andrew loses a bit there. It is a good shot for him, but he hasn't got the detail in his hamstrings and glute tie-in. He's got a very big chest, but his arms do look a bit lacking in this pose. So I think another 10 pound on Andrew, he would do very well. I think this is Nick Walker's pose because he's very compact, he's very thick. You can see the detail, you can see the hardness in his hamstrings, chest, shoulders, arms. So I would give that pose to Nick Walker. Probably Big Ramy second, Andrew third. Back double bicep. Big Ramy actually looks very good in this pose. I know he was criticized for his back, has sort of brought his back up. This is probably Andrew's one of his poses that exploits his weaknesses. Like I said before, Andrew does need more time to bring his back up, and that will take a couple of years to bring it to the rest of his physique. You can tell because he has come down in size. He's lost that back thickness. This is a good pose for Samson. He's got the X-frame. It's also not one of his better body parts, I would say. Nick Walker, he looks good in this pose. He's obviously very detailed in the hamstrings, glutes, calves. And Sean Clarido, this is one of his best poses. He's got an awesome back. So for this pose, I'm going to give this pose to Nick Walker first, Ramy, Samson, Sean, and we'll give this Andrew last. So let's go to the rear lat spread now. And you can tell probably Big Ramy has got the widest back there. I mean, he is the biggest guy on stage. And that really, you can tell the difference between him standing next to Andrew Jack, how much more of a back Big Ramy has got compared to Andrew. This is probably his weakest pose. He does need a few more pounds of his back on his lats. to sort of compare with the big guys. Samson, he got a good pose, looks very symmetrical. He's got the detail in his glutes, hamstrings, calves. Nick Walker, obviously, he's got probably hardest hamstrings in the whole show, so you can see the detail there. He's always got striated glutes. Big Rami's got the striated glutes as well, and also Sean Clarida. You can't really knock Sean in that pose. He's very complete, very balanced. But you said, look how small he is compared to the bigger guys. So he sort of gets lost in that lineup. So for that pose, I'm going to give that pose to Big Ramy first, Samson, Nick Walker, Sean, then Andrew Jack. Side tricep. Okay, so they all hit this pose quite well. Samson, this is probably one of his better poses. You can see the thickness in his chest, shoulders. Obviously, he's got huge legs. I like the way Andrew hits this pose. He's got a bit of a unique way, which he clips his legs straight, a bit like Sean Roden. You can see that Sean Roden sort of esque. Also, the sort of same detail in his legs. Nick Walker, another great pose for Nick Walker. I think a lot of the side poses Nick beats everyone because of the sheer thickness and density. You can see he's also in great condition there. Clarida is also another great pose for Sean. So this is a tough one. I'm going to give this pose to Nick Walker. Abs and thighs. I'll tell there, probably Andrew and Nick had the best abs there. This is a great pose for Andrew. You can tell he was really dialed in. When I saw him on the Friday night, his face was sucked in, so I knew he was going to be in condition. You can see the striations in his legs. His waist was tiny. Ramy, his waist does look quite thick there. However, he has got the legs to balance it out, so not a great pose for Big Ramy. He doesn't look very sort of comfortable there. Samson, he needs to sort of bring his abs out a bit more. He's got the quads. He's got the lats there. Nick Walker also, he's got the abs, he's got the condition in his legs, but he loses the lat width. This is another great pose for Sean Clarida. He hits this on the side, and that's probably where you can see the most of his separation and detail. So in this pose, I'm going to give this pose to Andrew Jacked, Nick Walker, and Sean Clarida. Okay, most muscular. This is a tough one. I'm going to give this pose to either Nick Walker or Sean Clarida. You can tell they are got massive shoulders. You can see the shoulders set off that physique. You need to have like big round shoulders to hit that most muscular pose. And in that pose, Nick like he's in the best condition with Sean next to him. I think Samson, he still needs to bring this pose, bring his shoulders out to hit this pose properly, and he needs to get that condition. He sort of dwarfs everyone there, so you can't help but notice the size of Samson, this, you know, the shape, symmetry there. So this was the Saturday night finals. They put Samson in the middle, Nick Walker. They kept on switching them around, Nick Walker in the middle, then Andrew Jacked in the middle. But you can tell by this different pose, everyone looks fantastic. I think everyone came sharper for the Saturday night. You could have called it Andrew winning, Nick winning, or Samson winning. Personally, I had Andrew winning on the Friday night, Nick third, Samson second, Big Ramy fourth, and Sean Clarida fifth. But by the Saturday night, it was evident that Samson was going to be taking top spots. Personally, I would have had Andrew second, Nick third, but judging by these photos, Nick has come in sharp. He's probably not as full as he was at the Olympia, but he's definitely conditioned. Big Ramy also looked very good. Was fourth place justified? I think it could have gone either way between him and Sean, but I think fourth place was good call for him. So overall, a very, very good Arnold Classic. I've been coming to the Arnold Classic since 1996, so I've seen many great champions, especially at the beginning of the year when it was a bit of a slow start, but at the end they got some great names, great Olympia competitors going for the £300,000 prize money. So I was really happy that I did come to watch this Arnold Classic and got to witness it in person. Congratulations to Samson for taking the title and bringing it back to the UK. First ever UK champion to win the Arnold Classic title. And also congratulations to Nick Walker and also my good friend Andrew Jacked. Third place is no sort of slouch, especially when he's only turned pro this time last year, and he's already won 2 pro titles and top 8 in his first Olympia. So shout out to Andrew. Big Ramy, I spoke to Big Ramy after, and I don't know where you go from here, but I think you need to reevaluate and assess and see where you're gonna have to go. But I think time for people like Andrew and Samson to go forward. Okay, so that is Arnold Classic done and dusted. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.